Taking Ron again with another edition of Ask Ron. How you doing this week, Ron?
Man, I'm great. I'm ready to go. Beautiful weather we got out here. I couldn't ask for better weather. I don't care where you live in this country. This is why we do Florida right now. 65, 70 degrees out there today.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't beat it. I could go out there in my underwear.
Please don't.
I could. I didn't say I would.
All right. First question this week is from Shawna in Colorado.
Hey, Shawna, I know your weather ain't as good as ours.
Shawna says, I'm sending out yellow letters.
Mhm.
On the return envelope, I'm using my personal name. The other person thinks that I am somehow misrepresenting myself because I'm acting as a business. Could get in trouble and should use my business name rather than my personal name.
I don't know what other person you're talking about, Shawna, but quit listening to the morons like they would know. You ain't going to get in trouble for using your name other than a business name. That I can assure you. Okay. I tell you what you do. You throw that letter in the trash and forget you had that conversation with that person. By the way, you want to see what we're doing right now? For one thing, we just put out 8,500 of these flyers with Every Door Direct at the post office. And we got 6 calls so far from it, and probably we'll buy one house today at noon from these flyers, 8,500 of them. So you go to EDDM, go to USPS and then pull up EDD and tell you how to do this and what it costs and so forth. I think it costs us about $3,000 to put out 8,500 of these things, and the post office does it for you. Okay, you don't have to do anything but get them printed, and Christy King will do that for you at yellowletterlady.com and send them to you. They do have to be separated as per carrier route and so forth. That way, get all the instructions on there. Now, Christy King is an expert on what has to be done here. So if you want to get a hold of her at yellowletterlady.com, she'll direct you, even if she's not going to be handling your campaign. And I got an acquisitionist now, and he's putting these out too. See, what price for your house? You probably didn't think I actually did this stuff, huh? Just talked about it. He puts out 25 of these a week. We're getting some calls from these already.
I like that it's set vertical. Wonder if that works different.
Huh?
I like how it's set vertical.
Well, this is actually half of a whole board. So I get 2 signs for one board. Don't ask me what we're paying for these. I don't remember, but whatever it is, it don't matter. Okay.
All right. Next question is from Wayne in Oregon.
Wayne, way out there.
Can the applicant receipt agreement form be used with a lease option to sell?
It could, Wayne, but there's no reason to do it. I created that form as a deposit, deposit receipt agreement, saying that I got their deposit. That form also says that if I take their, if I accept them, I'll use their deposit. If I don't accept them, I'll give them back their deposit. But then it says if I accept them and they don't buy, then I'll keep their deposit. So that's what that thing says. You don't need it with a lease option, because when I'm got that tenant buyer in my office or at Denny's or wherever I'm doing it, 2 or 3 days later, they're getting the keys and I'm getting the rest of their money. I don't need that agreement at all.
All right. Gregory in Virginia says, are land trusts used for all types of real estate investing? For example,
No.
Subject to lease option or financing?
Yeah, they're used for all types of houses. Okay. They're not used for commercial properties because we buy those in an LLC, because that's literally a business. Its own business, one property, one LLC, one bank account, one EIN number, one tax return. Okay. Don't have any of that with a land trust. But then land trust is not going to receive money. It doesn't have a bank account. If the land trust is owned by an LLC, that's where the money will come and go in the LLC. And I can put a lot of trust into one LLC. I don't want to do that because a commercial property is usually a business that receives and collects money. We take title of those in an LLC. But land trust for a house, no matter how you buy it, yes, as long as you're buying it. There is no land trust with a lease option because you're not buying it.
All right. Kevin from California says, hi, Ron. I have a home seller in Southern California who is behind on an FHA loan of $170,000, $1,700 a month EITI, and it also has a second hard money of $150,000 due in March. He wants $395 to put close to $50,000 in his pocket, and it comps for about $480.
All right, let me see. What is the first mortgage again? Is it
170 plus 150, so 320 total?
Yeah, but he's behind. How much?
Does not say.
Yeah, I didn't hear him say that. So I don't know how to answer the question. But let me see, 170 plus 150.
Yeah,
Uh,
320,
320, and it's worth what, 450?
480.
480. I don't know the condition. You didn't mention that.
Well, he goes on, says, needs, paint and flooring and minor landscaping.
Shoot. Okay. All right. There's a couple issues here. Number one is that hard money loan that's going to be called due in March. You don't want to put a dime in this property till you figure out what you're going to do about that. If you were to buy this property on a wraparound deed of trust in California for 320, was it?
395.
But that's if the seller needs, but seller's not getting the money. I can tell you that right now. Seller's going to lose their property very shortly. They don't need to worry about getting money. Maybe a little bit, but certainly no $50,000. That's out of the question. All right. And whatever they get, I'd pay them when you get paid. So what I'd do is I'd buy it on a wraparound deed of trust. And I don't know how much money it's going to take to repair it if it's somewhere reasonable. But geez, sounds like at least $20,000, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a 3,500 square foot house.
How many?
6 bedrooms, 3,500 square feet.
Oh my goodness gracious. If it needs all the flooring right along, there goes 15 grand right there. So this thing is going to be a pretty hefty cost to renovate. So I'm just talking with all the numbers, and I shouldn't even be doing that. But it looks like you got enough equity to at least put it under contract, and at the very least wholesale it to somebody else who wants to cash it out and pick yourself up $25,000, because I would not renovate the house and deal with all those underlying problems and so forth if you're brand new in the business, and especially if you don't have the money to do the renovations, because you're not going to get a private loan on that one due to renovations. It's already a private loan on it. So to get rid of the grief, put it under contract and wholesale it. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And somebody will probably take it very quickly as long as there's plenty of equity above. And it sounds like there is. And you got nothing to lose.
All right. Perzina from Georgia says, is Ron still doing the bus tours?
Which is a whole lot better than the live buses. Trust me. A lot better than riding around on the streets, wasting a lot of time on the roads, going into houses with no heat in the winter, no air conditioner in the summer, houses that we haven't been in before. Some of them were totally unsafe. Trust me, just watching these videos and then beat the crap out of them. What would repair? Here's what we do here. And then we see the pretty versions, and here's what it looks like afterward. By the way, you won't believe the difference on these things. You'll see what a house is supposed to look like and why they sell as fast as Jay puts them on the market. We did this up in his city because he's always got some uglies and some pretties sitting there waiting to go in. By the way, he's a guy that only does about 30 of these a year, and he nets about $2 million a year right now on those 30 houses. Probably a good guy for you to learn from. But no, we do it virtually now, and trust me, it's a lot better. I'll never go back to live. Never. And it's always cool in my room, and we're never going to get in traffic. In fact, we got stopped by the police one time in a bus. One other time when bus ran in the ditch. So we don't know what we're in for. Been many of buses where we're sitting there sweating because the air conditioner wasn't working very well.
Yeah, we keep those updated too. We've recorded 4 rounds of bus tours, one round here and 3 rounds up there with Jay in the last couple of years. So
there just wasn't any bus in it.
All right. Next one.
Well, actually, there was. We had a little bus. We went back and forth in, didn't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Perzina again from Georgia says, Ron, can you help me understand what JP Morgan is joint venturing? JP Morgan forms a joint venture for $1 billion in rental houses. Bank's asset management arm is partnering with Haven Realty Capital for build to rent deals in the U.S. Does this impact us doing real estate?
Not a bit. Not a bit. It has nothing to do with what you do. Sounds like, and I'm talking out of turn here because I don't know exactly the deals, but it sounds like JP Morgan is funding the builder and then renting them out, which, tells you JP Morgan's finally figured out that this real estate is good stuff. Okay. If JP Morgan's doing it, maybe you should do it. And they're also proving the case. The worst thing you want to do is sell a house. Okay. You want to keep all of them you can. Sell some for quick cash. Try to keep most of them. Which is all taught in my school. Get the quick start school or get back if you haven't been. By the way, it's constantly changing. Constantly changing. All
right. And last question this week is from Reid in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Reid says he found a listing on Zillow for $100,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath pretty house in a good area that's worth $500,000. But the ad says the price only takes out the owner's interest with a quitclaim deed, and the original deed of trust will need to be dealt with. Occupants will be leaving soon, and tours can be scheduled. Any thought on what the situation could be here?
No way I can comment on that till I find out what the other debt on the house is after you take them out with $100,000. Okay, I don't know what that means. Dealt with. It sounds like it's a wraparound mortgage and they want $100,000 for their equity, but you're not giving me enough information to intelligently comment on that. I don't know the rest of the story. I don't even know the cash flow. I don't know what the value of the thing is. I don't know what the condition of the thing is, and I don't know what the underlying problems are. Other than that, everything's good.
Well, that's it.
That's it for this week? Okay. All right, you guys get to work. Your year has started. It's time. And by the way, if you haven't been to Quick Start, get there. I'm telling you, that's the beginning of your career. And if you haven't been in a while, come on back. You know, you can go free for the first year. And even after the first year, it's only $500 per visit. So hope to see you soon.